You know what's been on my mind lately is how am I going to keep making art in a meaningful and sustainable way during an economic downturn? So I thought I'd share with you my plan for the months to come. I'm going to share with you my different focuses and how I'm pivoting and really specific, realistic, and I don't know, awesome ideas. And so this isn't something that I just kind of looked up online and it's a list that everybody's saying, but this is things that I've started, things that I'm doing, things that I'm about to do. And hopefully, even though you and I have different practices and different businesses, hopefully there will be some ideas for you that will trigger something that's helpful in your life. First, before we talk about income, let's talk about outgo. I already mentioned in a previous video that I'm going to have a no buy art supply in 2025. And so far, so good. That's been going well. But I wanted to get a little bit more specific about it because there may be some challenges, especially if we are in a space of feeling low-key panic when it comes to am I okay? Do I have enough resources, etc. So these are some ways to stay grounded in a habit of not spending too much money on art supplies. I want to preface this by saying if I do need to buy an art supply, like let's say, okay, actually, I really am out of titanium white oil paint or something like that, something that I use all the time. I'm going to purchase it from one of my local businesses. I'm not going to try to do it online. And if I lived in a place where there wasn't a small art supply shop, then I would order it online from a company that I feel really good about. But for me, I definitely have a couple of shops in town that I'm going to purchase from. This is a great opportunity to get experimental, to get creative. I mean, we're artists, so this is a great opportunity to exercise those super creative brains and figure out how can we use up what we have? How can we eat our fridge, so to speak? But here is an idea that had not occurred to me when I first thought of this, but it's something that I've started doing now. And that is make an inventory of what you have. Now, here's why this is great, because I don't know about you, but at least the way my brain works is if it's out of sight, I don't even know if it exists or not. I've forgotten about it completely. So if I have a list of the stuff that I have and in even general quantities, that's going to help me kind of have like a big picture of what I actually am dealing with. And then if I see that, wow, I will realize, I'm kind of rich when it comes to art supplies. And I have some menu planning to do. I'm just going to keep on with these cooking references. Okay, so how am I going to make an inventory? Well, the first thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get organized. And that means I'll be putting like items together so that I also can then find the things more easily. So this, of course, dials us back to, oh, what am I doing? I'm cleaning my studio. So cleaning the studio, now I've organized stuff where the same type of things are next to each other. Like all of my sticky things are together. All of my panels and my canvases are together. And I personally hang up my paints in color order so that I don't accidentally keep buying the same color over and over again. But here's the second benefit of cleaning up the studio that, I don't know, I haven't seen this being said very much, but it's really powerful. If I love being in my studio, in my workspace, because it's clean and it's organized and I feel like $1,000,000, that means I don't feel crappy. Because when I feel crappy is usually when I'm the most vulnerable to buying stuff that I don't need. So I want to feel really good when I'm in here, like I really am taking good care of my things. And it's a pleasure to be here. That's what I'm aiming for. The second thing I want to talk about that is alternative to talking about the actual income options is a real pivot on my attention. Now, I have been hoping to have this for a while, and I'm going to take this time to take advantage of it. And that is, I know that I really needed a window of time to just kind of stop, get a little bit more quiet, and work on my art skills. So I've been working on my art skills quite diligently for the last 8 years or so, like really extra, especially since, I'm doing this professionally. You know what? I've taken a lot of classes, and if there was something that I really needed to take a class on right now, perhaps this would be a good time to do it. But actually, that's not what I need right now. What I need right now is time to integrate what I've learned from the multiple classes I've taken in the last 8 years, not to mention what I have finishing what I started with my MFA, and then really fully integrating what I had learned in the painting atelier. So I'm actually really energized to start diving deep into what I'm doing and really practicing hard, And I do have a real stockpile of surfaces to paint on, and I have plenty of paint. Hopefully my brushes can hold up to the challenge. And I'm just going to paint I'm going to paint a lot. So that's what I'm going to be doing for sure as a huge focus this year, to see where that takes me. I do have a couple larger pieces that have not sold that I think I'd like to release into the world. And I'm going to be thinking about which auctions I might donate them to, for good causes, which leads me to the next important focus that I have going on right now, and that is community involvement. I think when times get chaotic, it's all the more time for us to be reaching out to each other and reaching out to our neighbors and building community. So in addition to donating pieces to auctions, I'm really trying to get involved in the community in ways that I feel really good about. So for example, a few weeks ago, I donated my time to lead a slow color activity at this event called Soapbox Project. And what that is, it's a weekly community dinner where they have workshops and live music and fun. And the focus is on making friends, but also learning more about ways to be involved in social and environmental change. So it's really about climate. That's the central focus of Soapbox. And I've already learned a lot going to the Soapbox dinners that I've gone to. Oh yeah, and it involves dinner too. So anyway, I donated my time for one of those. And then today, actually, I just recently signed up to be part of the public art committee in my neighborhood association. And so we spray painted salmon in front of kid-friendly businesses in the downtown sector of our neighborhood. And it's going to be called the Salmon Stroll. So kids can go around and find all 10 of these salmon and then fill it into their bingo card and then turn it into Sweet Mickeys to get a free piece of candy. So the cool thing about these salmon actually is that the spray paint is, what is it called? Like water repellent or something. Anyway, the point is when it rains is when they'll show up, because they will resist the water. And so the sidewalk gets darker when it rains, but then the salmon will show up as the color of dry sidewalk. Anyway, all that to say, I'm really enjoying the meaningfulness of connecting and helping the community and making friends, developing my own skills while I do it, but also, just like, what can I offer? And strengthening relationships with people. It's like there are different ways to be rich. And I think that this is a really great opportunity to remember that being rich in friendship and connection is priceless. And in a way, if we're talking, like if we were hunter-gatherers, it's like you can collect all the berries and you can be rich because you have all the berries, or you could also be rich because you have connected with everybody in the group, and so you will keep each other safe. It's just different ways of being rich. But I'm not only looking to develop community in person, I also am enjoying building community online. So we just finished our group series show called Series Under the Same Sky with friends from all around the world. and I feel so much closer to the people with whom I did this project. And we each had a transformative thing happen when we did this project. And again, this was an opportunity for growth, building skills, connecting with other people. Just by building community, we're being part of the solution to a problem of great isolation right now. Okay, one last one before we talk about actual money-making strategies, and that is creative bartering. So definitely you can do art trades with other artists. And for a person like myself who has a real weakness when it comes to purchasing art, I might look to that as a strategy, but only sometimes, because we're all in different places when it comes to how we are trying to make money. And so I don't want to try to create pressure for people like, oh, let's just trade, even though you're trying to make money to, buy dinner for you to eat tonight. But I have another creative bartering idea that I want to try soon. Offering to paint for a business in exchange for their services or their goods could be another option. And I am going to be trying that this year to see how that works. Okay, let's talk about making money. So I am going to be, yes, focusing on diversifying my income streams, but that's not new. I was trying to do that anyway. But I think that maybe I wasn't trying very hard. In general, I have the ethos of making art that is affordable. And I know that lately I have been starting to apply for like group shows at galleries. And so that isn't necessarily the main focus in a lot of those scenarios. So what I thought I would do is I oftentimes will make kind of smaller pieces so that they're more affordable. But I was thinking in terms of making affordable art right now, like these days, I might start focusing on making even smaller pieces so that they are more accessible, more attainable, and so that people could actually buy one and not feel like it's hurting too badly, and that they could have like a little burst of joy, color, and that it's not gonna sabotage their grocery bill, But then conversely, I do have some large canvases and panels that I can use to do those applications to the group gallery shows. And I've been very excited about how that's been going so far. I've already gotten into 3 since January, so that is like a thumbs up. So I'm really looking forward to improving my larger paintings. I am a former teacher, so it seems like it would be really straightforward for me to just go ahead and start teaching. But the only problem with that is that in this chapter of my life, it actually doesn't make sense for me to be gone from home that much. So, and also I find that teaching in person, because I do kind of give 5,000% all the time, I have to protect myself in a way, because I've noticed, having been a teacher, that doing that kind of work can drain you in surprising ways. So if I were to do teaching right now, it would be some kind of online teaching situation, or even like small bite-sized downloadable videos. But the only question I have about that one is, what would I offer in a bite-sized video for money that I'm not already giving away for free here on YouTube? I feel like I am sort of trying out, showing and demonstrating different ideas, like art ideas and color ideas. And so, perhaps sometime I could refine some of it and then make them into downloadable videos. And yeah, so that's a possibility. I'm not sure if I will or not, but I think that it's something to be considered for you. Like, if there's something that you are really good at, that people are always asking you how to do it, this would be a great opportunity to show people how to do it. There have been several people that I know through YouTube who have asked me if and when I'm going to start a Patreon. So I have lots of thoughts about that as well. I have signed up for Patreons before, and I know that a lot of artists will provide things like early access to content or like small things like stickers or cards that they regularly send to the Patreons, the patrons of Patreon. If I were to have a Patreon, I think the way that I would do it is I would want to provide something that's really special and valuable, like the kind of thing that I would want to sign up for. And so I think that it would include some connection. So regular meetings, or not meetings, rather regular gatherings where I could give people feedback on their art. And obviously I can't give everybody feedback each time, but like, let's say there were, I don't know, 20 people in the Patreon, then in this monthly meeting, I would give 2 people some kind of in-depth feedback on artwork while we're all together so that everybody sort of benefits from it. And everybody in the group could even give feedback as well if it makes sense. I don't know. I am clearly spitballing right now, but this isn't even in the works. This is just something that I'm thinking later on this year. But the other thing I would love to do if I were to have a Patreon is to host studio time together where we are painting at the same time, and maybe there's an opportunity for us to be able to chat together. And I can also be demonstrating what I'm working on. So these are some thoughts that I have about Patreon, and to be continued on that one. YouTube ad revenue. So I was monetized a few months ago, and I am now currently waiting for my first check of about $100. So I can't imagine that this is going to be a huge income stream for me in the foreseeable future. I will have to have many, many more subscribers for that to even happen. And I am just absolutely, I completely neglect like saying, oh, please subscribe and hit the notification bell if you like these videos. Yeah, I don't say it ever. Like I sort of said it just now, but I said it just to say that I don't usually say it. So, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to start though. Or maybe I will. It's true that the more subscribers, the more people who watch these videos, the more ad revenue I can make, which means the more I can provide free videos for people. And I love doing that. I think I'm going to do a second run of this zine that I made a number of years ago that was a fundraiser for Earth Justice. And I gave a huge portion of my proceeds to Earth Justice. So I really love it in every way because, first of all, this was a cookbook zine that was illustrated by myself. And these were mostly recipes that I either created myself or they were some of my favorite ones, and I was using them with permission from the cookbook author. And so I love that it's useful. I love that it's affordable. And I love that it's also raising money for a good cause. And so it really checks all the boxes for this time period right now. And so I think I am going to try to print it again. It's going to take some work to kind of pull it back together because I have it in sort of separate pieces of paper, and I'll have to do some stuff with it. And maybe I would add a couple of new recipes. That'd be cool. It was a great zine, and people still use it. Like I'll get texts from people, or I'll get messages from people and telling me that they made a recipe for one of their favorite soups from that zine. So yeah, it turned out really good. Digital downloads. Well, I just finished a What Kind of Artist Are You workbook, and I think it turned out really well. This is a compilation of these quizzes that I had made on previous videos, and people had asked me, can you please make this into more of a printable thing? And so I did. I cleaned up all 3 of the quizzes, made a glossary, and also added a thought organizer for making an artist statement. And I think it turned out pretty good. And so I guess something I should do this year is actually make a commercial for that so that I can explain more in depth what it is. And for that matter, I should probably make a commercial for the book that I wrote called Slow Color Project, because it is a really great book and really useful to people who love color. So that's another part of my plan. But if you're interested in either of those, the book or the digital download, they are available in my shop, which is kind of attached to YouTube. So you can just see it right there. So if you wanted to buy one of those, no pressure at all, seriously. Like if you are on a budget right now, I'm not trying to break anybody's bank, although they aren't that expensive, but you know what I mean. Okay. And then another sort of money-making thing that I might do this year is a studio seconds kind of vibe, where I do have some pieces that are here still in the studio that I don't feel like they belong in any particular show, and or they might have some kind of imperfection, and so I will sell them for like a really delightfully low price and just get those moved along, keep the art flow going. Another word that I want to say about making money that is for anyone's consideration is a long time ago I read this book called Your Money or Your Life, and one key piece of advice that they gave is, for your job, the thing where your 9 to 5 or your part-time job or whatever it is that you use to make money, try to find the most efficient way to make money, so that for your job part of things, you just can use the least number of hours to make the most possible money so that you can leave more time for your life. So if you are in a position right now where you are working part-time or full-time and you're trying to figure out how to make room and space for your artwork, it might be worth it to do the job that pays more, even if it's a little bit less exciting, because then it gives you time and space to make your artwork. Just a thought. Anyway, this is going to be a pretty wild ride, I predict. And so I think really just bringing in that energy of hunkering down, but also growing from within, connecting with other people, and then getting creative about ways to make money, I think that we'll be able to make it through. And I would love to hear your thoughts about how are you going to be dealing with these months to come. Do you already have some plans or ideas in place? And do you have any new ideas to share with the rest of us? Because I think if we work on this together, that we're going to come out the other side better artists, closer with each other, and having done something good for our communities. And so that's a pretty good place to be. And so anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.